What have you observed to be the reason behind the free fall of the naira against the dollar, particularly in the last few months? It's been rather drastic.
Well, as one of my Nigerian friends put it, if we want a strong naira, you've got to have people want the naira. And of course, people don't want the naira for a number of reasons right now. I mean, one reason is we have high inflation, of course, and we still have a very difficult business environment. So if you look at in inflation-adjusted terms, if you invest, for example, in the Nigerian equity markets, you're going to find you lose money on that. So then people don't want to invest. So what do they want to do? They want to, and of course, we now are making this more difficult because the naira is falling. You then create this self-fulfilling prophecy because people we all are aware of apps that have come onto the market in the last few years that allow people, or we're trying to allow people to save in US dollars. If you see the naira continuously depreciating, then you're going to gravitate to those apps, try to get your naira into dollars as quickly as possible. So it effectively increases the velocity of the naira, the velocity of money in economic speak. And that accentuates it because everyone who gets naira is trying to immediately to change it to something else. And of course, we're one of the largest markets for cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the other types of crypto assets. And even though the CBN has tried to really effectively ban it and not allow it to interact with the banking system, young Nigerians have even, and despite the crypto winter we're in, have sort of judged, wow, I want to get my naira as quickly as possible into something else, whether it's US dollars or into cryptocurrencies. But at a basic level, if you think about if our economy was functioning well, it would be like a giant rainforest. Like it would absorb carbon, right? So if it's functioning well, people want the money to be in the economy because they'll earn a good return. So it'll absorb resources, it'll absorb money. Unfortunately, because it's a very harsh business environment, people don't want to invest in Nigeria. So we're not growing the economy quickly enough, and we're not absorbing these resources that stay in the nation, and people want to get out, get their money out as quickly as possible. And sadly, because of events the last number of months, in particular with the global inflation, with the real pressure on the naira, that's happened. Now, of course, we normally should have had a counteracting force, right? Because if you remember, right around April or May of 2020. When COVID was starting, oil price collapsed. In fact, I think in June it went negative for a few days, and we said we'll have a very difficult time in Nigeria. Well, now oil price has been over $100 for a long time, reached 130. We're still having a hard time in Nigeria, so that we're really missing an important element. It shows we're not known. Even if we're definitely not an oil economy now, because how is it possible at $100, $130 that we're in such difficulty? Well, a couple of reasons. One reason, of course, is because our production has collapsed. So when I first arrived a decade ago in the country or longer, we were producing, I think, in some months up to 2.2 million barrels a day. Now we're producing 1.1 million barrels a day because of the oil theft and the vandalism. And of course, we now also have the foil subsidies just because of oil price and the collapse of the naira got bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's in a sense consuming any surplus we're getting from the high oil prices. So it's put us in a very difficult spot. Even though we have the high oil prices, we're not getting what we traditionally got, which is the counterbalance from the inflow of dollars to fix our balance of payments challenges.